How una dey today and welcome back to Python no be snake. For dis episode, we go run dis code first, then we go see how we fit take build am from start to finish. So the code na say dis list of smileys go come outside. Na three list, and we go put the position wey we want change for all dis three list. For example, e go tell you say which position you go like change. If you put 1, 2 and you press enter, you go put love for the position, and the position na say row 1. Say this one na first row, second row, third row. You go say row 1, go to row 1 first. Then for inside the row 1, make you check the second position for row 1. So you go put the love for there. So na the code wey we go take run am be this. And yeah, e fit dey confusing for now, but once we go go through everything step by step. As this row, we first name all the rows, put am for variables. Then we go introduce this concept to dey call f-string. We never talk about f-string before, so we go break down wetin f-string be. Na something we don do before, but na how to do am in another way. Na im be f-string. Input, we don do input. Then all these other places na just how we fit take position things inside our list. Since we don already do list, we don know how to index the list. I believe say we fit do this simple task. And of course, the last one na how we fit take change one particular thing for list to this love emoji. If you wan go along with us, we go start the code from the beginning go reach end. First thing we wan do na to get those list. So row 1 go be the first list. So we fit get this our laughing emoji. So we fit just, for Windows for example, just press the Windows buttons with full stop. Then we fit get the emoji wey we need. Make we use our smiling face as we don talk. Of course, we need to put am as string. So if we don get that one, we'll say we just need to make it dey faster. We'll just copy and paste. So now row 1 be that. Row 2 and the same thing, so we'll still copy and paste for here. And row 3. Well, still the same thing. So now we don't get three lists like this. We don't get three lists. The next thing we want to do now to nest the list. This one means say we won't put all of them together for inside one particular list. So we don't already know how we dey nest list before, so we'll just say okay. Go use the names row 1, row 2, row 3. Most stuff for here, we see wetin we do for here. Wetin we just do now to, if we say more print these all rows now. We say print all rows. So we'll add S for this thing because maybe one no snap. So wetin we go get now this list wey dey inside list. So we get one list, we get three lists inside. So we pack all of them put for inside one list. That will make am nested list. This will just mean say we get three lists inside this list. And we don't already do this thing before. We know say okay, if you want call our first list now, we know say the first list go dey position 0, the second one go dey position 1, the third one go dey position 2. So another thing we say, if we want call, maybe we just quickly change one or two things. If we want call maybe row 1 and index 1, maybe we want call this thing wey dey here like this. We want call may I just give you the example for this thing. So maybe we want call we'll say all rows, say sorry, square bracket 0, make I change am so that we go fit get wetin we dey talk. Make I change am to another thing. All these square bracket 0, say make we print this one for example. We see say all this bracket 0 will give us this very first one. You understand? It means it will give us row 1. So if you come inside here now, come put maybe another index, say may still give us another 0. It will go give us this our vest, because you will go inside this first one, you go bring out the first row the same way the first one will do. So the inside that one will go bring out the very first one with the inside. The same way you bring out the second one. Let me just say, if you understand well, I'm say now this computer guy na here. So if you see me go bring out the second one, we put one for here, go bring us that computer guy. So now the computer guy he give us for here, but that's a different one kind. So wetin I try talk say we don't learn index, so we go use them for this thing well. So if you no get the understanding, if it dey confusing, so go back, go watch as we take do list and how we do the index am. So but that one na just the brief explanation. So we'll continue with our code. The next thing we want to do now to make sure say when we print our row 1, row 2, row 3, we want to make sure say it come out like this. Say it come out, may they come out for different line. Because normally when we print these all rows now, we know say all of them go just dey one line. You understand? Maybe you say print all rows. You say print all rows now, we know say all of them go dey on top one line, or this thing go dey there. If you say maybe print row 1, of course if you add am, say print row 1, row 2 and plus row 3. This one means say you go print the first one, you go add all this thing together. So now almost the same thing that you go give us, but we want make it arrange like this. It means that we need to print them on different lines. Of course, we know if you use this way they do them. The ways we fit take do am, maybe way we don't learn now, to maybe change them to string, because then we go come add this our slash next line, so we dey use wey we don't talk about before. But it no go work like this until maybe we first maybe change them to string. So this one is the first way. Make I just quickly show this first way. First change everything to string. Very, if person feel confused if you know check this one well. So this one will be like first change everything to string. Most of it will happen like this first. Understand? We change them to string, everything print, but we want make everything fall for next line. Most if you add our this thing for here. But let me say if we want put next line after each row, you understand, we would need change this next line itself. We need to change them to string, and we need to add them based on string concatenation. This one a very long thing, but we'll just try and we'll see how it could be. So if we print this one now, of course it will carry and go the next row, and if we come maybe just copy this one now and put them after this one too, we go fit get that, make everything dey different rows. This one our first way we fit take do am. Another way we fit take do am na to use dot format, and this one of course we go use that our next line, that slant end. But wetin dey there be say I just quickly show as this one dey go. We need to use this curly bracket. The whole idea be say this our wetin they call am next line, so they work except the inside string. Now so and the easiest way to just understand wetin they try do. So this is another way to take of course do the same thing. We add dot format. Then we go put all the variables we want make it dey inside all this curly bracket. Row 2 and row 3. So if we use our print variables f like this, then we go if we run am, it will come outside as as that. So wetin this one dey do now, another format to take run that kind same thing we do. But don't forget say we give am spaces, and this is our /n. Now just to give am make it go the next page, sorry, the next line go print am. Wetin e dey work for be that, because if you comot am, and we say make we run am, see wetin e go still give us that one on the straight line. So that /n, so it dey work. But I want this one na dot format, and the next one we wan do na f-string. So f-string na wetin we dey use most, because na im be like say e dey straightforward pass. For f-string, wetin we just need to do now to just say okay, wetin we wan actually do. E just be like this dot format we just do finish, but this one dey more easier. First thing na to put this format string, then we'll come put all the things we want to put them inside this format string, so or this f string. So what we go use now, this our bracket, and now three things now we want put abi. We want put row 1, row 2, row 3. So now I have to put row 1, row 2, and row 3. Of course, wetin go happen if we print them like this? We'll see. It will give us like the same on the same line. So we need to, of course, add our slash next line slash next line. So if we run this one like this now, voila, we will get wetin we dey look for. So this f string just if you understand am more, say okay, if you use f string take do things wey be say maybe dey string and of course variable, we wan print everything together. So na so we fit take do am. So of course, if you carry variable like maybe all row, any variable like this all rows now, still put for here, it will still run the same matter. All row will first run, then depending on the variable. So now wetin I just want clarify for there be that. So yeah, we go use this f string, then we don't know, so okay, we don't get our first okay, sorry, we don't get our first part of this thing don't do like this. Now of course we don't first talk how to take check for the position, for example, inside each list. You understand? Don't forget say this thing is still there on the straight line. No change anything, no change any format. Now still all rows, now still that straight line, but we just say okay, maybe for look like at least like game movie, say okay, where we want put something for here, wetin we want change for here. So the next thing we want to do now to get input. So here input, say okay, the input prompt could be which position you want change, and we just tell am say no pull number wey dey between put number wey dey between 1 and 2, or put number 1 to 3. Put number 1 to 3. We'll just leave it like this, because this one we talk say may put number 1 to 3, because of course the index go dey out of range if we put anything wey dey more than 3, because we know say we get 1, 2, 3. And even for if we print this our row, if you long well, dey for every row na 3 dey there, and also 3 list now we get for all rows. So we get 3 lists inside this one, na 3 things then inside this one na 3 things. So we just put and say okay, 1 to 3, make problem no for dey. So yeah, of course we will collect input and we go save am. We'll save am as position. Now wetin we wan collect, no forget say when we dey collect something for input, the computer dey give us result as string. So anything we will collect, we need to put am to integer, so that integer, you know say all these our index na integer dey use, string no go fit work with am. So anything wey e give us, e go put two numbers, right? E go put one for horizontal, one for vertical. Okay, make I just quickly explain wetin go happen. Number one thing na make I print this our all rows come outside, so I fit get wetin we dey talk about. So okay, so make I first come on this one first. Alright, so we know say na two things dey here, but na this almost the same thing, na the same thing, but we just dey print am in another form. We know say for the position, we need to give two position. The first one na for the first this thing, maybe from here come reach here, and for the first list. So okay, this one go be 0, this one go be 1, this one go be 2. Okay, so for inside index 0, we still get 0, 1, 2. So the very first one dey pick one of these three. So the person go need to put like 1 and 2, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 2, 3, like that. So the person put maybe put 1, 2. So the person dey actually talk say okay, number 1 for here, or then inside here number 2 for here. But we don't know as position dey work for inside index. We know say na, if you say na 1, e mean say na 0 e mean. So we go get to that part later. But we don't understand say okay, now wetin we dey try do for this whole idea be that. So we dey expect the person may put two numbers, which position you want change. Put number 1 to 2. You understand? So maybe the person fit bring 1 and 2, 1 and 3. You understand? Maybe put 1 and 2 for example. Now we know say 1 and 2 go be if we first pick this one, go be 1, then the next one go be 2. So now this number, this one now go change with the so now it go change. So of course this one now, if you go check out for here, it will be like 1, it will be this one we could change. So if you don't understand this thing now, we'll continue with the talk. So we go put, the best go put two numbers, maybe 1 and 2, 2 and 3, those kind of things. So if you don't collect the number with the person get, the first thing we want to do now to say okay, what will be the position of these things? Maybe we want to say okay, maybe vertical, maybe straight line. So all this one will be vertical like this. Maybe from here come here, it will be vertical as thing take align themselves. While this one will be horizontal. You understand? So I think vertical and horizontal line be that. So we'll use vertical equals. Now what we dey try collect? We try collect position. Of course, we don't know say position and say okay, now this thing will give us. But first, we'll just say okay, we want to collect maybe position 0. Position 0 will be the first one of the 1 and 2 we put for here. Don't forget saying a string it will give us. So the person put 1 and 2 as answer for this input. This first one will be 1. Of course, we do for position 0. This position no position where. So now we pick one of the inputs we then give where the person put. So we pick the first one. Now be this position 0. Don't forget say we don't store this 1, 2 now. We don't store them inside position and a string. So we pick the first thing. Don't forget say we also pick index from string. So we dey pick the first index for the string. So the first index na position 0. Of course, to make sure say we fit use am for inside our small game, we need to change am to int. If you dey ask say why we change am to int, the reason why we dey change am to int na because say na integer or na number we fit take index. We no fit use string take index. So we go change am to string. Of course, when we change am finish, we go store am say okay, na this one we go take find our straight line wey be vertical. No forget say this form like this na be vertical. Of course, when we get our vertical, we mean say we don get one of the, if you carry am come this straight line, so wetin just mean say everything wetin we get na one of these big guys. So one of these lists now we get. You understand? Don't forget say this one na be, and then go under their self, they form 1, 2, 3. You understand? So if you carry, it means we don't get like one of these be that. You understand? So if you get one of these, which one we can't get inside? You understand? That be the next thing now. So, but the first thing, we will not complicate things. We don't get one of these. Now be this this vertical. So of course, most still get the horizontal, will be line with the sleep. Now be this horizontal. So horizontal was int position. This one go be position 1. Now it go be this 2. Now we'll take get the horizontal line. So now it go be this 2 now. So what we do now, the same thing we'll do for the first one. We go inside this position, go pick what people don't input. So okay, the first one go represent this line, while the second one we dey put. If you put any number, don't forget if you put 1, 2, if you put 2, 3, if you put now you go tell us where the position dey for this whole place. So yeah. So when we don't know that one now, we don't change am to int. It means that we don't get the number where they give us, where input give us, where they give us for input. We don't get them, we don't hold am for hand. Anything with input, we hold am for hand, and we don't change am to integer. The first position and the second position, the person will give 2 numbers, one for vertical, one for horizontal. So I believe say that one don't clear like that. So the next thing we want to do now, say okay. So we want select, say okay, for inside all our rows, okay, all our rows get S for back. We want select, don't forget say we want select this maybe this first one, or anyone we want select for here. So if you select anything, so if you use for all rows, if you use 0, it means say we dey pick this one. If you use 1, it means say we dey pick this one. If you like that. So for here, we won't just say we won't select maybe 0. It means say if we print this select now, we'll just print and we'll see what will happen, so that thing could be more clear. Okay, we'll just print select. I just want circle print ball. Okay, make our first command this one. But that will need to happen before the next one. Okay, the position is not defined. Okay, we'll come out with this one first, because glass no affect that one. All rows, print select. What's going on? Okay, this one is still a print. What's going to go up now? So all rows, we say all rows. So the very first one will be row 1. Now we put side the select and we print them. Okay, so that one and be that one. But wetin we wan do, wetin we wan really do, we wan make sure say we pick the one wey the person input, and wetin the person input, we don already store am for this vertical. So if na one the person input, na just say we dey replace that one, with the name, finish. No be say we dey do anything too much. This one na just dey represent the number wey the person put. Dey represent this first number wey we don explain for here. For example, if the person put 1 and 2, this one just be say na 1 be this. So na wetin this one just dey stand for. Now, to make sure say everything balance, because people no go choose 0 now, so anything wey they choose, 1 minus 1. So if they choose 1, it means say minus 1 go be 0, and na position 0 it go give us. I don't know if that one clear. So now so this one I just vertical dey stand for number wey the person choose. Of course, the first number wey dey here, like I said, if na 1 2, it dey stand for 1, and this one stand for 2. So of course we don't select one of those ones like this. So the next thing we want to do is to say, okay, don't forget say we don't pick one of those rows. So the next thing we want to do now to say select. Don't forget say we don't pick select. So select from inside that row. We will select the horizontal. And of course, we will also minus 1. Anything we will select, we say it equals to. Then we will find, of course, we will press your Windows button and dot or full stop. Pick the rows, equals rows. Then, of course, we will print. We'll print this one again, maybe print them out. So we will print something different for us. So most of the thing we print. So first say, okay, first print this thing give us. Then they say which position you want change. So if you just put 1 2, we run and we change that position to rows. Alright.